Guys,
Oh my gosh.
this is so nice. We got a nice fire going for ourselves. And what does that mean, Jessica?
Well, we are doing a backyard session. And what better way to kick off a new thing than to start with the Tortured Poets Department prediction show.
Prediction show.
So we're going to be talking about the playlist that she released this week, of the 5 Stages of Grief playlist. And then we're going to dig deep into the song titles, and we are going to predict what they're about because the album comes out on Friday and we need to know how close we are.
Yes, and also I think I love doing this type of stuff to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, solving puzzles is what Taylor's all about.
And listen, it's just going to be a good time. So welcome to the backyard.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is like a secret sesh.
yeah, it's going to be something we're going to kind of maybe do for the summer. Nice little summer session with a fire pit
Yeah.
and all that fun stuff. So I guess we'll just start it off. So like you said, Taylor Swift created a playlist of
The 5 Stages of Grief. And each stage of grief has to do with like the lyrics that she posted on the back of her of her variants. Like each variant has, like, the manuscript has "I love you, it's ruining my life,"
Oh, I thought.
and then the albatross has
okay.
"You don't get to tell me about sad."
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll just like dive into it. So the first one was
"I love you, it's ruining my life." The
Yeah.
denial stage. By the way, all of the 5 Stages of Grief playlists all start with the Midnight's track.
yeah, they went in order of the albums from newest to last.
Yeah.
Well, at least that's how
No.
it showed up on mine.
Well, yeah, but like the first one has like it starts with Lavender Haze and ends with Bejeweled, but it was.
Oh.
But just that one. But you know, it was just the whole thing just really like had me going over my life like
Yeah.
big time. Like I like her, she said that it's about being so in love that you don't see the red flags.
Yeah, and I think definitely, which we've talked about a lot. It's like when they got together, she wanted someone who didn't care, and who didn't want to be public, who didn't want.
Right.
Honestly, I think there's a level of like he didn't want commitment, and that's why he didn't talk about her a lot either. Because it seems like commitment is a common thing.
One of those I just feel like she loved him more than he loved her.
I think. Yeah, I could say that. I definitely in the beginning.
Yeah.
I want to say in the beginning, absolutely. And I think I gotta say Betty was on that one, and I'm like, y'all listen to Betty.
Betty, that song I repeat all the time. I actually had it like I listened to it nonstop. The second I left my house yesterday to the like all the way to the Venetian, which was like a mile, but I listened to it like 3 times. But the songs on there, like for the Denial, "I Love You, It's Ruining My Life" playlist are Lavender Haze, Snow on the Beach, Sweet Nothing, Glitch, Willow, Betty, Cruel Summer, Lover, Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince, False God, Style, Wildest Dreams, Treacherous, Hours, Superman, and Bejeweled.
So, yeah. And I think the common theme was that like they didn't claim each other at first. It was
Right.
like, we're not claiming each other. This is just fun. This is new. This is like we're just gonna try it out. Nothing serious.
When Lover was put on that list, it like shook the world,
Everyone.
right? Because we're like, wait a minute, you know? And then I really thought about it, and the somebody had said, yeah, he never claimed her as his girlfriend, right? How many times? Where have you heard that? So I was with that for like 6 years too, where I was with somebody who I considered my boyfriend, but he didn't consider me his girlfriend. So really,
Yeah.
he was just my lover.
Yeah.
And
Well, yeah, and like even like the bridge to me, or not the bridge, it was I'm highly suspicious that everyone who sees you wants you. Why does it matter? Like I say, like why does it matter?
yeah,
Like if everyone wants you,
I've been through that too.
but like you're only insecure because that person allows you to be insecure
Yeah.
in that way. You know, like if Nathan, if like somebody had the hots for Nathan, I'm like, okay, do it, babe.
It's so crazy
like-
because he's like Joe Alwyn. Like he's not nobody cares, you know?
Well, I mean, that's
I would be more about like I mean like Travis Kelce's a good like I mean he's like gorgeous and
Yeah.
like yeah, of course everybody that sees him wants him, but he makes it clear
like
like
he's dating Taylor.
he's dating Taylor and he's very like
Yeah.
you know
Well, even in Cruel Summer, the whole bridge is literally her begging him. to
said
do
I'm fine
something.
but it wasn't true. Yeah.
I'm fine. It wasn't true. And it's like, I'm sneaking into your house to like be like the cool girl. Like no one else will do that. Like just claim me already.
Yeah.
And I thought that was I was like, huh,
Yeah.
okay.
I
Or
think
what
there's
was
been
it
a
to
glitch.
seal her fate? Like in Cruel Summer, it's like figuring out how to get him to like her more than others to seal her fate.
Right.
And so it was kind of funny because Lover was like that, and a common theme was her following him, but
Yeah.
him never following her.
Right. Yeah, it's so crazy because like also like so Style obviously that was about Harry Styles, but it was also
Yeah.
about being in an on again off again relationship, which the 1989 era was like literally when I started
Yeah.
listening to Taylor because I was going through everything on that album at that exact moment in time, and so for her to put Style on there tells you what was really going on.
Yeah, and I think, especially during the time, because I feel like in the beginning, because she made it so clear that like he never claimed her, she never claimed him. I don't doubt that they were like, it had to have been an open relationship because they were
Yeah.
just a fling.
I'm wondering, so like
Which just made me realize in one of her songs, you know how she's like, it's not 1950s. You're either a fling or a
timeless.
wife.
yeah, oh yeah.
And then now I'm going, oh wait, for her.
Oh, in
he
Lavender
was
Haze, yeah.
Yeah, she was either a one night stand.
Yeah.
And then he did the complete opposite when he got caught cheating.
Yeah.
And begged to be his begged for her to be his wife.
Right. Well, that's why Champagne Problems made a list.
Oh, well,
but
yeah.
but I feel like Bejeweled on the denial list. I mean, I get it, but also I feel like Bejeweled should have been on like the angry one because like she's saying like, listen, best believe I can still walk in a room and make the whole place shimmer. Like fuck you. Like I'm awesome.
Yeah.
But it was on the denial playlist.
Well, and also it's funny because I see like Miss America and the Heartbreak Prince and Betty. They both have high school vibes,
Yeah.
and they're absolutely talking about like them as a couple.
Yeah.
And I think that's why with Betty, she was like high school
It
theme.
was so like so Lover was first, so that was like the precursor to Betty.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's just really interesting. I kind of sit back. I'm like, y'all didn't know this? It's okay.
Oh yeah. It was
I have a lot of those. I have a whole entire section on top of my notes saying the same thing. Like we'll get there.
so yeah. So and then the next playlist was You Don't Get to Tell Me About Sad. Now here's the thing about that. There's there's kind of a video, and it's a very quick video. And it's Taylor and Joe at dinner, and he's like pointing at her, and you kind of hear him say, "You don't get to tell me about sad."
Oh. Okay. When was this?
Um,
Like a paparazzi photo?
yeah, or like somebody was like had their phone on and like watched like was like oh shit there's and it was like somebody like posted a video that they took of them like on TikTok or something, but it was like Joe and
What a
Taylor like
crybaby.
arguing at a restaurant.
I need to see this video. That's funny. God damn.
So so that was the anger playlist, and it starts with vigilante shit, of course.
It seemed fitting.
High infidelity. We were all like, do you know where I was April 29th? And that was like, we're like, oh, she was at the Met Gala with like Calvin Harris or somebody like that.
Yeah.
Like she was at the Met Gala with somebody else, or not Calvin Harris, with somebody else. She was there with somebody else. But apparently, maybe not. Maybe it was the opposite. Maybe she's.
Listen, we'll get into it after you say the whole playlist
Okay,
because
all
I
right.
definitely want to go into
So
details
then
about
there's
that.
Would've, Could've, Should've, Exile, Illicit Affairs, Mad Woman, Tolerate It, which is so gut wrenching. Bad
yeah.
Blood. Is It Over Now? I Knew You Were Trouble When You Walked In. We Are Never Getting Back Together. The Last Time. The Moment I Knew. Babe. I Bet You Think About Me. Dear John. Better Than Revenge. Tell Me Why. You're Not Sorry, Forever and Always, and Mr. Perfectly Fine.
Well, can we talk? So we'll go the High Infidelity. I'll tell you what I think about that song. So she's at the Met Gala, and he's like, babe's out of town, I'm gonna do some fuckery shit. So then he's doing some fuckery shit. So she's going, and in my opinion, in the song, it sounds like she's going, what did you do April 29th?
Yeah.
And do I have to look into your eyes to figure it out through the stars? She's going, do I have to hunt down the information? Because I'm going to find it out.
She will.
And so it's like, okay, so I was gone. So what were you doing?
Right.
Because you were doing something fucking sketch, and I know you were doing something sketch.
Yeah.
And to me, it was like a conversation. Like I said, it's like, do you, like back and forth. And so, but yeah, no, I think he was out cheating
Yeah.
and being a whore.
And then you have Would've, Could've, Should've. That's more of like a John Mayer kind of a song. But it is definitely a very angry song.
Well, Tolerate It is absolutely about Joe.
Oh yeah. Well, okay, so then you get into Exile. And I constantly like joke about this because I'm like, there were so many signs, because the whole song, like, there were many signs. I think that they had an argument. Like, this is one of the things too that they had an argument about.
Mm-hmm.
And she claimed him as a songwriter on it because she probably used an argument.
I think,
but there were so many signs.
I have a theory on that too, because I'm actually going to go into the depression portion.
Okay.
And I'm going to go into that, or also the bar, like, because we'll get there. But yeah, during the depression part, I was like, wow, that's really telling of this person that she's dating.
Yeah.
And also I can see why no one likes him.
Yeah.
Because like, I think it's wild. I don't know. I'd be so
I can't, like, he just treated her like she's like the biggest star in the world, and he's like, I don't give a shit, whatever. Like, I don't care who you are.
Which is exactly what she wanted at the time.
Yeah.
But hey, we'll get there too.
Well, that's pretty much what, like, Reputation. So anyway, so then you have Illicit Affairs.
Yes.
Which I was really like listening to that, like, and that's like the don't call me kid,
Yeah,
but like,
can I actually? Okay, you continue that, and then
okay, but like Illicit Affairs, it's like, it's very like, make sure nobody sees you leave, keep your head over your eyes, keep your like hood over your eyes, keep your head down.
It's kind of
tell yourself you're going out, tell your friends you're going out for a run, right? So like that way you come back all flushed and sweaty, and nobody asks questions.
Well, I was like, I think it's because it's like, oh, our friends
have seen him.
Well, our friends don't want us together because you're toxic for me and you're no good for me. And like, think about when you got back with the person that everyone was like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So I think it's like one of those things. So she's like, hide so we can just have this time to ourselves.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be hell when we start up again.
Right.
But I also wanted to say, because we know Joe equals blue.
Right.
I wanted to read a Halsey lyric because it's so fitting with the dog.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Halsey has a song called Color. In the bridge, where did it go? Okay. Okay, you were red and you liked me because I was blue. But when you touched me, suddenly I was a lilac sky and you decided purple just wasn't for you. And that is such a Taylor, like...
It is, because, like, Loving Him was red. Cruel Summer, like,
yeah, that's what
blue.
I'm saying. So like,
and then Lavender
and
Haze.
Halsey are friends.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if she's like, you're right. So you showed me colors. I became lavender.
Right.
And then you decided, oh, I don't like lavender.
Yeah.
So it's funny how Lavender Haze.
Right.
And she was red, he was blue, and then you have, and so Lavender Haze to me is also like, I'm in the haze of our romance.
But Mad Woman, it gets me because remember how, because I went through this and everybody called me like, same dude, everyone called me crazy because he made me crazy, but he also told everybody I was crazy, and I was just trying to be a normal person or a normal girlfriend or trying to be in a normal relationship, and he like in the whole song with like Mad Woman is like, there's nothing like a mad woman, you made her like that, like. And
I think it's the friends say it's like crazy because it's like you're really gonna do this again?
Well, no, but yeah, but also like, you know, he was telling people the way that he was like, he was telling people I was crazy, and I was like, what do you?
Oh, well, yeah, for your situation.
You know what I mean?
For
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
Well, and that's because it'd make him look bad if he just admitted the truth. But
Yeah.
what do we know?
And then Tolerate It all, it just gets me. It's like so gut wrenching because I feel like my last relationship, it was definitely like in the very beginning, everything was great. But then like towards the end,
Yeah.
it started to really feel like he was just tolerating me around, like having me around.
Yeah.
Like I was just there. Like he didn't care.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's definitely like, it's interesting because once again, this is the person that she needed at the time. Like, oh, you don't care. Like, you just tolerate everything.
Yeah.
But then it's like, wait, I'm coming out of that phase.
Yeah.
And I'm coming into myself again, and I'm getting the recognition I need, and I'm selling albums, and I'm doing all this stuff. So it's like,
She surprise dropped that album and it sold like, she won a Grammy for it. She won so
Yeah.
many awards for that shit.
So it's like-
for both of them.
I mean, it's really interesting to like, wasn't he a producer on that one too?
Yeah.
Okay, once again, I'll get into that later. Because when we get into depression is when I have a lot of like side notes. But
Is It Over Now was about, that song is like, they're both cheating. But that was her and Harry Styles.
I was about to say, yeah.
But
See, I didn't listen to anything that didn't have Joe involved because I just
yeah,
I
because
wanted
it
to
doesn't
pick
it
him
doesn't mean
apart,
anything.
yeah.
But
I mean, it
but it
does
probably
go
like I
away.
mean, she probably like relates to it like now.
Yeah, differently.
But that song, yeah, in a different way. But because you're searching every model's bed for something greater.
Oh yeah,
Lyric.
hairstyles.
But Joe also.
Yeah,
So there's that.
I mean it's fitting.
And then like the moment I knew was like, that song's like the moment I knew it was over.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then we move on to Am I Allowed to Cry? And that's the bargaining. The Great War. So the Great War was one of those things where I guess like Taylor was like overthinking something or like came to like some conclusions and confronted him about something, and then turned out like she was like overreacting to something that didn't actually happen or something, and that because she was like because she had basically said like throughout the song like we survived like the Great War,
Yeah.
and she thought she was gonna lose him.
I took it as that one and the second one. I took it as she got big hurt and she was giving him a second chance, and it was just really thin ice.
Yeah.
Like really thin ice. So anything was going to set her off.
The Archer is so crazy. Like,
What's the order of the playlist?
what do you mean? Oh, because I'm so The Great War. This is me trying. Peace. The Archer. Cornelia Street. Death by a Thousand Cuts. Soon You'll Get Better. Afterglow. I Wish You Would. Say Don't Go. Come Back, Be Here. Better Man. The Story of Us. Haunted. Come In With the Rain. The Other Side of the Door. If This Was a Movie, and Renegade.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of my notes were just like, she got big hurt. There was like big consequences.
Yeah.
And then also, like she's going through the times, like she's remembering the good times. Almost.
Yeah.
Like she's going through the phase of like, oh, I miss him. But remember when we used to like hold hands and walk down the beach
Right.
together? Or when we did this, like that was such good. I know he can get back to that again.
Right, because like so like The Archer, like that I love that because like who could ever leave me, darling, but who could stay?
Yeah.
And then like Afterglow is tell me that it's not my fault. Tell me that I'm all you want.
Mm-hmm.
Like for people who like overthink like things, but like that like for like in general, but listening to that song now I'm like, oh crap. And then Say Don't Go is like, why'd you have to lead me on? Why'd you have to twist the knife, walk
Yeah.
away and leave me screaming? Your silence has me,
Yeah.
like, so I'm like, oh God, I lived through that shit too. But that's really telling. Better Man was like, you'd be the one if you were a better man.
I mean, and how much can you relate to that?
It's crazy. And The Story of Us makes me giggle because The Story of Us will be ending soon.
And you're like,
So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, it's really interesting too to see like where he fucked up.
Yeah.
And I think the coming back together is weird too, but we're going to definitely get into that with the next one, right?
Old habits die screaming, which I think is kind of cool.
I think it's funny. And depression.
Yeah.
And listen, I have a lot of comments, so I'll let you read the...
Okay, so here's the
list
track list. Bigger Than the Whole Sky, Dear Reader, Maroon, which, okay, yep. You're Losing Me, which she played that
For the first time?
for the first time on one of the days that she announced a variant
Oh,
on tour.
okay.
So when she was like, "Oh, the Black Dog or whatever, like
Yeah.
vinyl is like coming out,"
It just...
she like so during her like little Tortured Poets
Yeah.
like little promos during her tour is when she played "You're Losing Me" for the
So-
first time, and that's when we knew, like we just knew.
Is there a correlation with that song and... Because it's that one, and then the song that goes, I'm Falling in Love Again?
Lavender Haze,
No.
the Labyrinth. Wait, Labyrinth.
Labyrinth,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
To me, the rhythm of those words seem very similar.
It is.
So I was like, oh, that's... We're reacting to one of his songs. But anyways, we'll go back
So
to
the next one
depression.
is "My Tears Ricochet," which is about Scooter Braun, but still like
It's not all.
it's
Just the
not
second
all.
half. Just the second half.
Just the second half?
Because the first half, she's talking about herself.
Yeah.
And she says me. The second half, she's talking about a friend.
Yeah.
And then it's Scooter Braun. So she's absolutely
I
teaming
love
up.
that song. That's one of my favorite songs. Epiphany, Hoax, Champagne Problems.
Hoax. I got a huge conversation about hoax.
Champagne Problems. Because when someone gets on their knees and asks you, like, you never know until someone's on their knees and asks you.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. Okay. Coney Island, Right Where You Left Me, Nothing New, Forever Winter, All Too Well, We Were Happy, Last Kiss. That song gets me every time. Castles Crumbling. I listened to that on repeat all last week. Carolina and White Horse. Oh, I love White Horse, but yeah. Like, okay.
So Dear
Callie's
Reader.
sick.
So Dear Reader is absolutely her writing a letter to Joe.
Yeah. Never
And
take
I was
advice from
like-
someone who's falling apart.
And then, so Hoax. I'm side-eyeing all of you. Like, they're fine. That song, Jesus Christ. But, like, here's my thing. So she even says, you hurt me as much as reputation time in my life, if not more, in that song.
I had to go back and listen to it again.
Because she says something like, you hurt me more than they did.
Oh, yeah.
And if she's talking to Joe, that means she said, you did something so devastating to me that you hurt me more than when I met you. And I was like, wow, guys, good job.
Yeah.
Really caught on to that one. But and then she also, I think it's freaking wild that she is saying this to him and he's producing and making this song. And she's literally telling him, go fuck yourself.
That's why I'm saying, like, that's why I keep saying to people, like, Exile, there were so many signs. Like, she's telling him, like, there were so many signs. And everyone's like, no, but he helped write that. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
doesn't
There
ma-
were so many
I
signs.
think he was in the doghouse and she was literally, this was the only way she could communicate with him.
Yeah.
And I think he thought it was a bonding time for them. I think he took it as she's forgiving me because she's helping me. I'm helping her write music.
Yeah. No.
And she was going,
She's-
no,
that's
I'm
just fuel to
doing
the
this
fire.
so
That's
you
adding
can
fuel
hear
to the
me.
fire,
I
yeah.
think also there was probably like, you're not hearing me. Let me do this with you.
Yeah.
You're not hearing me clearly.
Right. That's what I got out of it.
And I mean, I was just like, how do you produce an album? And then she's literally screaming at him like, you broke me. Fuck off.
Yeah. And I feel like
Weird.
I listened to Castles Crumbling a lot last week, and all I could think about listening to that song, like the first verse, was she's saying like when I like walk into the room, like I like people would stop and listen to what I had to say, or like I used to be like this like high like famous, like super famous person or whatever, like this like queen or like royalty or whatever, and people just would listen to everything I say, but now I fear that I have fallen from grace. Like it was just interesting that she put that on the
Well, and how I'm looking at Champagne Problems now is
Champagne Problems is like one of my favorite songs.
she said no to marriage because he cheated, and he only proposed because he was trying to get back into her good
Yeah,
graces.
absolutely.
And because I first thought she didn't want to get married, but I actually think that the only reason why he proposed was because he was in the doghouse. And I mean, how familiar
So,
does that sound
yeah.
too? I mean,
Oh,
every
yeah, that
single
happened to
time
me
this dude would
several
get in
times.
trouble, he'd be like, "Let's get married. My dad died."
Right. Right. Oh no, absolutely. Absolutely.
So I mean, I was like, "Oh, that's why she said no," which I gotta applaud her.
You
I'm
know,
so proud of her.
The bridge on that was like one for the money, two what was it? You might have touched on the Chevy door. November flush and your flannel cure. This dorm was once a madhouse. I made a joke. Well, it's made for me. How evergreen. Our group of friends don't think we'll say that word again. Also, so I'm like thinking, oh, okay, so they're not gonna be.
Then all her friends unfollow him.
Yeah. Well, then like
Like,
she would have, but she's saying when she says like she would have made such a lovely bride. What a
Oh,
shame
yeah,
she's fucked in the head. They
yeah.
said. So like that's what they're saying about her.
Yeah.
And then, but she's saying, but you'll find the real thing instead. She's telling herself.
Yeah. Well, and I think also that is like, I think his family was confused about what happened. I think it's kind of like when what's his face was like literally like when his side of the people were like, "You guys aren't together. What are you talking about? You're not together." I'm talking
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
yeah. And like, "You're not together. Like, what are you talking about?" You're like, "No, he just told me we were together." So I think like, I don't doubt that Joe said, "Oh, but you know, I was only like flirting with somebody when we were broken up."
You're right. We were on a
And
break.
It can't be that mad. She can't be mad at me. So
Yeah.
in their point of view, she's fucked in the head, and she knows the truth.
Right.
So she's like, "You're not for me."
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I mean that one. You know, it's really funny when I originally did a review for Reality Check.
Yeah.
On this album, I put Champagne Problems. Imagine being the person Taylor says no to.
Like,
Yeah, I
yeah.
was like, wow. But like, which one was it? Oh, okay, Coney Island. That one sounds sarcastic to me, and I was like almost like, oh my god, like, what was the line? It's like a how dare I hurt you?
Yeah.
It was like, oh, how dare I upset you?
But where have we heard that? Where have I heard that?
I mean,
like okay, perfect example, we're broken up and I start dating someone, and then he comes back into my life, has me like break up with this person, and then even though we were broken up, every single time every single time he walked by this person on stage, I'd get like these angry phone calls about like how I like cheated or how dare I hurt him by dating this other person that he wasn't even friends with. And like
It was
and I was like,
exhausting,
wait a
y'all.
minute, like you've hurt me, like you've like literally like you've
Yeah.
been cheating on me.
Yeah.
Like, and so then I leave and I go do my own thing. How am I hurting you? Like you've hurt me the most. I'm just going off and living my life. So yeah, been
mean,
through it.
I mean, it's just like, I think I had a note on this too. Is this the one with Midnight Rain? Oh, we didn't do the track list on this one, did we? Or did we? I forgot.
No, yes we did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is Midnight Rain on this one or Acceptance?
That's on Acceptance.
Oh, okay. Then I'll wait.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just thought it was kind of funny how she's like. It also it was like the. This is why we broke up. So before it was, oh, I miss him. Remember the good times?
Yeah.
Now it's, oh, wait, this is why we broke up.
Yeah.
Because I'm remembering with all those good times, I'm remembering when it went to shit.
Right.
So it's like, that was the common theme in the depression one. Which, yeah.
So then the next one is I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, which is a track on Tortured Poets. The tracks are, or the playlist is You're On Your Own, Kid, with Midnights.
Yeah.
Midnight Rain, Midnights. Labyrinth, The One. Actually, she changed out her set list after they broke up. Like, it was originally Invisible String,
Uh-huh.
and then after they broke up, she said she changed it to The One.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think I got Invisible String at my show. August, Invisible String, Happiness, long story. I've listened to Happiness today, like a few times today. Happiness, long story short, Closure, Evermore. It's Time to Go. I Forgot That You Existed.
Damn.
Daylight. I love that song. Daylight. This Love. Clean. Which is perfect for this, actually. Now That We Don't Talk. Begin Again. Innocent and Breathe.
Ooh. So yeah, what was it? Midnight Rain. He
Yeah,
has her literally
sunshine.
saying, "I'm changing and you're staying the same."
Yeah.
And she's like, "I am this new person, and you are
It's
the
so weird.
same
Those
thing."
lyrics are so haunting because she's saying like, "My town was a wasteland full of cages, full of
Yeah.
fences, pageant queens, and great pretenders."
I think that was one of the ones that I was like, "Oh, they're broken up."
Yeah,
Like there was a couple that on Midnights I was like, "Oh, that was the song that made me decide this
yeah.
album was a breakup
I think
album."
yeah, but it's like the pre. But Clean is really it's good because it's like it's like the rain came pouring down.
Yeah.
Think I'm finally clean. I absolutely like that song. That song got me through the final straw
Yeah.
with my relationship. Like I think I had to listen to that song to get to really I mean I was over it by the time by the time it had ended.
Yeah.
But I was really
I think that's
I'm
something-
finally clean.
Yeah, I think that's something you and Taylor share. I think by the time she broke up with Joe, she was pretty over it.
yeah.
I think she went through a lot of the 5 stages of grief while in the relationship. And I think it started when he cheated.
Yeah.
And I think it was her trying to hold on and then the depression phase and then breaking up. I think the night, I got a couple conspiracy theories. The night that she unfollowed Joe was the night so I think what happened was they had already been broken up, but they had agreed not to go public.
Right.
With anything or be able to be caught. Like if you're going to have a bitch, just take her to your house or meet somewhere. Like I want this to go smoothly. The album just came out. I don't want to expose you yet. I think she's still trying to protect him. And then he broke that rule. So her and her friends got together and we're going to unfollow him today because he's still not doing.
Well, there
what
was
we
a
need.
dinner, and I mean we'll get into this with the whole once we get into the Tortured Poets, but there's a whole
Yeah.
thing with the album covers and what happened and what I mean, yeah, they all unfollowed at the same time, but it all happened at a dinner.
Yeah, but I think that dinner was an intervention dinner for her. Look,
Yeah.
he's not doing what you need. This is ridiculous. I also have a conspiracy. I think it's interesting that the Labyrinth I'm falling in love again portion is in acceptance, which makes me think it's dedicated to
To Travis?
Travis.
Yeah. I think-
that's the
It was the when she sang that song as a surprise song. And it was so funny because there was an airplane taking off. I thought
that's
the
funny.
plane
Yeah,
was
yeah,
going
yeah.
down. Yeah, but it so weird. Never beating those sorcery
That's
allegations.
funny.
But
But even the fireworks at one of the shows.
oh yeah,
Those
it was.
were
It wasn't even
happening.
for her show. It was something else, and it was during Enchanted, and it was going along with the choreography. And I was like, God damn! Once again, and then the lightning during All Too Well when everybody's screaming "fuck the patriarchy," and there's lightning going off in the background. Again, never beating those sorcery allegations.
Listen, I wouldn't be surprised.
I know, right? August. August
yeah.
slipped away like a moment in time because he was never mine.
Yeah.
Okay, so she was maybe this whole time he was never mine.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like they were very much in the second to last relationship you're in. You know what I mean? It was yeah, you guys were together for so long, the same amount of time.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the same amount of time with Taylor and Joe. And it was that constant back and forth.
Yeah.
And I think it was because in his mind, he was dating
Yeah.
when even though he's talking marriage, he's talking about relationship, he's talking about moving in, but in his mind it's just dating.
Yeah.
Where you're I'm in a relationship.
Yeah.
And I think that's the vibe that she was in.
Right.
Because that's what that's what it seems like.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that one. But yeah, I did think it was cute that I was oh, little Travis shout out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's why Begin Again is on there, right? On a
Yeah.
Wednesday. Because this is the other thing that happened. She was out to lunch with her publicist
Uh-huh.
and she got a text or she said, oh my God, Travis wants to go out. Like for like, so like, that's when like things like they were starting, like things were starting to happen. And so it was like, so like kind of perfect. And I kind of share that too a little bit. I'm gonna tell that story here in a second, but like, yeah, I think I love that Begin Again is on there because it's like, I've been through this. My heart's been dealing with this and this all this time. And now finally, like, I think I can finally maybe let go and start over.
Yeah. Well, and I think also there is, I don't know, I'm just glad it's a part of the acceptance.
Yeah.
I got some theories how this ties in with the album. So
Yeah.
I'll go. When we
I've
get
got
into
a few.
that, we'll
I've
get
got a
into
few,
that.
but I'm gonna like real quickly, like,
Yeah.
So
because I also have a theory about how this all came about.
Yeah. So the last couple weeks with this playlist coming out, I've really had time to like reflect on my own life. And it's kind of, I don't know, punched me in the face. And
Listen, I think it's a healthy punch you in the face.
yeah, no, I'm
kind of excited for it because it's like, oh shit, I don't want to do that again.
It's so weird because like yesterday one of my Facebook memories came up and it was a picture of me and my last boyfriend and using with the Lover lyrics.
Oh, that's right. You showed me that. Yeah.
And it was like, oh my God.
Full circle.
Oh my God. Full circle moment. Oh my God. Like, and I was really like looking at that, like, I can't believe that I was so in love that I just fell like too hard, too fast, just recklessly and blindly and let it kind of consume me, I guess. And
I think that's what we're like, and honestly, that's kind of like what we're told is supposed to happen, right? Like I read romance novels. And like, the shit is like, we kissed and there was instant orgasms.
Yeah.
And it's like, that doesn't happen. Like, I feel like you have to learn somebody, you change so much, you have to see if you want to change with these people, and it's okay. But like I said, it's the dream we're all sold.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a very confusing.
Yeah. I was like, I thought it was like this whole like fairy tale, like, perfect romance thing that one and it in my mind was for a little while, and then but then I started to notice things and started to question things, and then
the haze goes away.
I still that's again the lavender haze of it all. And
I
then
will say also, like, never mind, brain fart. Continue.
And then. So from there, like, then tolerate it.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was doing all these things. I was at his shows, and I
would say for the last two, honestly, like it was a theme.
Yeah, both of them really, but like, but the last one I was like 100% like in love. Like I took time off work and I got in a van with his entire family and went to Reno to go watch him perform.
Imagine going to Reno
while his entire family made fun of me the entire trip.
Well, and also I think it's like even after that, it was like you were still.
I was clinging on. Oh man! Then we went out one more time, and he was annoyed that we even went out. Like it was so weird. Like the vibe was like he like I got all dressed up and I was so excited to go out, and he just wasn't in it anymore. And that's when I started to kind of feel like he was just like, tolerating it. And then that time I was out with Trev, and we were at the pool, and he, we were talking about it, and I didn't want to tell him anything. Yeah. So we get to the comedy club, and he's talking to Michael Yo about my boyfriend, and I was like, this is crazy. And I kind of wish that at that point, like, man, I should have said something, but I was too ashamed. I didn't want anybody to hate him. But like, I feel like there were all these things that I kind of did off to the side that he didn't realize that I did. Yeah. And still he like just tolerated me being around.
Well, I think also it was just kind of like the person that they are initially in a relationship, when you met your last person too, you came out of a very weird relationship. It was weird.
It was weird.
And so I think it was normalcy of constant, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that also gets confused with like, it's healthy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think maybe Taylor was also in that. Like, oh wait, now he's giving me everything I ever wanted.
Right.
And I'm still complaining.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, that doesn't mean it's healthy.
Right.
It just means he has a wandering eye and he's in the doghouse.
Yeah.
And he's afraid of you writing a really amazing album.
So then you have like Say Don't Go, and Say Don't Go was like, that hits me so hard every time too, because I felt like at one point, like, we broke up, we were still friends, we're still cool. He told me that his job wasn't taking him far away anymore, and he was just gonna be in Laughlin, and that we could continue our relationship, and we would just have like, just had to figure out a schedule. But he wanted to get back together, and I was ready. I was okay with it. I was ready to do it. And so he just, like, for months, like, led me on and to believe that this is something that's going to happen. And then he basically ghosted me. And so, like, the line is like, why'd you lead me on? Why'd you have to twist the knife? Walk away and leave me bleeding? Why'd you have to why'd you have to go? Like, your silence has me screaming. Like, that line, that one line. Now your silence has me screaming. Yeah. Because then he full on ghosted me. And by the way, guys, anytime any of like the comedians ask me what happened, I always I don't want to say bad things, and I don't really say bad things. I just say he ghosted me.
That reminds me. What is the song where she talks about how, like, the person that got cheating? I think it's in Evermore.
Okay.
It's like her and her friends like go out to the river and like put his dead body in the lake or something like that.
No Body, No Crime?
Yes.
I love that song.
By the way, I love that song. So what I think that is, I don't mean to interrupt, but what I think it is she has a me friend.
Yeah,
and so it was, I'm yelling at you going like, I'll fucking bury his body.
Yeah.
I'll fucking kill him. So you're like, I don't want to say anything bad. I fucking do.
Yeah.
I will.
I don't say anything. I will say that, like, I do tell them, like, well, he ghosted me, but also towards the end he acted like, performing in front of 20 people was better than what I do every day. And that's, once again, started to feel tolerated. But
I'm still waiting for someone to say he's funny, but that's just me.
Anyway, so, but I mean, that's as far as I go, because with that, and everyone else kind of agrees. Like, they're like, that's not a good look on him, and I'm like, oh, that's what he did.
Well, and what's really funny too is, like, he's kind of proved you to not be lying, because he's done the same thing to all of them.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I should have known better when I saw that I realized he did it to his last girlfriend. Last kiss. So he's still on my Facebook. He never posts, so I always forget that he exists.
Oh shit. Yeah, me too. And then I see it and I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah, but here's the thing is, he only shares. He doesn't actually make his own posts.
Yeah, it's like, so, Dawn, I mean, somebody posts somebody and like she'll tag him in it.
Yeah. So like, I'll hit the like button, but he'll see it because it's on somebody else's. Anyway, so it's like, I watch your life in pictures and I feel you forgetting me. I hope it's nice where you are. Like, no ill will. Like, yeah, I was really hurt. I was in love and I was really hurt. I feel like I was more hurt because I gave so much of myself to that person. Yeah. That when it ended, I was like, you can't even. I mean, you know what's so crazy is I told him when we broke up, like, I said, I can't love a ghost for the rest of my life. Yeah. And he thought I was just being poetic. Listen, I stole that line from Vampire Diaries, but it was so perfect, so I said it.
Hey, it works, baby.
But yeah, and then, begin again in the acceptance. Yeah. And that was, on a Wednesday in a cafe. I watched it begin again. Yeah. I hid for it because the lyric is like, I spent the last 8 months, like, basically, like, grieving and thinking about my life, blah, blah, blah. And then, all of a sudden, like, I randomly go out on like a Friday, on a Friday night. And then, I saw Brandon. Yeah. And then, like, 2 weeks later, I hosted Funk Jam on a Wednesday. Hey. And Sandollar's not necessarily a cafe; it's a bar, but like,
that's where
it's still kind of, but it's got that cafe kind of vibe to it. So yeah, and it was like, we like have been like dating ever since. So it's like, okay, like I'm dealing with, like, I can do it with a broken heart. Like, I'm still like, but I can get, like, I'm getting my life back on track and getting back to where I was and supposed to be. And
so I can take it out if you want me to. But do you remember when we had the conversation in your apartment and I was like, girl, you're depressed? You were telling me, and I was like, girl, you're depressed. And I was like, oh, you're on your grief. okay, we're at acceptance now.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it's fine.
funny.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
no, but
you're
I was
totally hitting
but
the
because I was
acceptance in
finally
that.
like, no, because I was
Yeah.
really like, because I was going home every night to an empty apartment by myself.
Yeah.
Wasn't going out. I was just focusing on work and Taylor.
Yeah.
And for a little while that helped me get through some of it, but then it
Yeah.
was like I don't have any of it. Like I have cool things maybe going on. I don't have anybody to share it with, and
Yeah.
then and then you try online dating and nobody understands me,
Well,
and
the thing
nobody
with
tries.
online
Somebody wants
dating-
to.
The thing with online dating is that it's very much like a quick hookup, and like a lot of people are coming out of long-term relationships and going on there. It's not like my best friend does online dating primarily, and like that's the one thing she's been noticing. It's like everyone is just coming out of these really long relationships, and that's not something I want.
No.
Like I don't want to be your rebound.
Well, listen, we're not
Yeah.
all like Jason and Kylie Kelsey who met on Tinder and have this like fairy tale romance.
Well,
Right.
listen, that was because they both didn't want anything to do with each other. And that is something Nathan and I absolutely can relate to. Because when Nathan and I, we were just hookups. We're like, we're not serious at all. And fucking 13 years later, no one's going home.
Right.
So, like, it's like, with them, I relate to that because I think they just had a fucking attitude. And sometimes
I feel
you
like
need the
Kylie.
fucking
I feel like
attitude.
Kylie and Jason are you and Nathan.
Oh, absolutely. The way he proposed is absolutely the way Nathan would have. Like, he's like, I gotta go take a shit. And then he runs into the house for 2 minutes, and she, quote, goes, you didn't poop. It was only 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
And it takes you an hour to poop.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's exactly what I would
Did you
say.
see their wedding video?
No, I don't think
Oh
I
my god!
have.
It was like if anybody opposes to this union, shut the fuck up.
Oh, that was there. I didn't realize that was theirs. How
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, no, that's exactly what would, if Nathan and I ever got married, that's exactly what ours would say. It'd be like, shut the fuck up.
Just
let
shut
it
the fuck
happen. Well, so it's funny. So I'm going to say what I think, how this playlist came about.
Okay.
I think she was going through, when she started the Eras tour, she was going through these stages, and these were her favorite songs to perform during those stages.
Well, because she didn't perform all those songs. But here's
Oh,
the thing.
okay. Or
But here's
like maybe like,
but
yeah.
here's the thing: is as somebody who's watched the highlights from every show that she's done on tour so far, you can see it in her face. You can when she is singing certain songs.
Well, when she was crying, the one that "Don't call me kid,"
Yeah.
like honestly, I told
That's
Jessica
the angry
this.
version. Yeah.
Like I told her, I was like, "That's how that song should have come out."
That song needs to be re-recorded.
Absolutely,
For fucking sure.
Because the one that's on her album fucking sucks.
Dude, the note change
Compared to that.
in the one, you meet some woman on the internet. Like the way that it is on the album is you meet someone on the internet, or you meet
Yeah.
some woman on the internet and take her home. But like on tour, she's like, you meet some woman on the internet and take her home. Like,
Oh, I see.
and we're like, oh,
Oh, that's a little bit better.
oh
Which-
yeah. But we're like, oh, she's like reiterating some shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Well, and
okay.
I think like especially like, I mean, I don't know, it changes the whole song into me, like especially you show me colors I've never seen them before. Anyways, but like, yeah, she needs to re-record that song.
But I feel like from the beginning to like where we are now with the Eras tour, you can see it in her face when she's singing certain songs.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's definitely, I think that's helped her make the playlist because I was like, oh, I wonder what songs made her. think
yeah,
what.
because some of these aren't even like, yeah, she hasn't done surprise songs yet. So
Yeah.
all right, now this week there's been a lot of, because what I thought was hilarious was everyone's like, where's the Tortured Poets like promo? Where is it? And I'm like, she doesn't need it. We're fucking talking about it. Like,
Well, also,
so
the playlist is kind of the promo.
the
to get
playlist
you
came out
hyped
13 days
up.
prior.
Well, and also it's
So-
like getting you hyped up to like get more music.
Well, yeah, but it also got you like got us. It was prepping us to like for it was
Yeah.
like it was the prequel to what we're about to listen to on Friday. So she had like her little pop up at the Grove in LA, but she also released a few song lyrics. One of them is even statues crumble if made to fall, or if even statues crumble if made to wait. One less temptress, one less dagger to sharpen.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know.
On that
like,
one.
had this dagger in me and removed it. Yeah.
Well, no, I think they broke up, so that's one less temptress for you, and that's
Yeah.
one less dagger for me because
Yeah.
we broke up. I can't care anymore.
But check this line out. Check this line out because this one like got me. Like
Uh-huh.
it just this one is another one that just punched me in the face. As she was leaving, it felt like breathing.
Oh yeah, she was like, "Oh my god, thank God." Which tell me that's not how you felt on that airplane when you were like, "Oh, I guess we're done now." Okay.
That's literally how I literally like Mr. Perfectly Fine over here like broke up with me in a text while I was on an airplane
And you were
and
like,
like
"Thank
I to
God."
me that I hadn't been texting him. I was like, I was
Aren't
on
you breaking
a
up with me?
fucking airplane. I was on a fucking airplane. And then he was like, well, this isn't real love. And I'm like, oh, that is Joanne speak. Oh, I'm sorry.
Beep beep beep.
I don't give a fuck. I knew like that was like the other girl that I caught him in bed with, because that was not a thing that he would say. Like the way
No.
that he said it,
No, he's just full of shit. Listen,
it was.
that man.
I was like, that is the girl. That was your other girlfriend's.
Yeah,
Like those were
exactly.
her words, and whatever. They're married. It's fine. He's her problem now.
Yeah, seriously. I'm like, good for
But
you.
I mean, like, yeah. So when it was over, I was very much relieved.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because my roommate picked me up and she was like, "How was your flight?" And I was like, "I guess I got broken up with." And she's like, "Finally." And I was like, "You know what?" Like,
We were
and
like,
I know, right? Like, oh god, like I can just like wait. He's not gonna try to get back together with me.
Yeah.
He's not gonna, because that was the other thing is he just kept on, like, "I love you. I'm so sorry." Like,
Yeah.
and
I remember one time we
it
were
was
sitting
so-
at a bar, and he's like, "I'm gonna marry you," and you're like, "Okay, let's do it right now. We can do it right here." And
we
he's
were
like,
at Carnival Court. I remember because like there's a ring. There was a ring place right there.
Yeah.
We could just go get a ring. Like, let's just fucking
"Let's
do
go
it.
do it." And he was like, "No, it's not right." And he's like, "No, courthouse is fine," which is funny because that's ending up like that's ultimately what he did.
Yeah.
Was a courthouse. And so it's just funny because he was just like, "I'm gonna marry you, but I don't want to." A bug just flew into the fire. I don't want to.
I want to marry you, but I don't want to be your boyfriend. My dad died.
Yeah, but
Like,
my dad, my friend died. Oh
listen,
God. Listen, I don't know. It was just wild. So it's funny to see the lines like drawn together too, and I'm excited for. So this is what I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be put into like 4 sections. I think the first top is going to be we broke up. I'm kind of sad about it. I think you're going to kind of see some of this like grief.
well, that's what the variants are. They all have like a song.
Yeah, so okay, so like you'll definitely see like the stages of grief, and I think maybe that'll be like the first. How many songs total are there?
17.
Okay, so I think the first 5 are gonna be the stages of grief for sure, and then I think she's going to be single. She's gonna make a Matt Healy song. It's gonna be a whole song. I think that's the one that's like I can fix him,
Yeah.
and then which we'll go into the song titles individually, and then. I think she's gonna be having fun, and at the end, we'll dive really deep into it.
Yeah.
But I think the end is gonna be her falling in love again and her new life.
Yeah.
So that's
So-
my quick summary of what I think the album's gonna be. What do you think that?
I think the album is going to just go in chronological order because I
Yeah.
think that there was more Maddie Healy than we knew. You know what I mean? Like, I think that like whenever her and Joe would break up,
Oh,
because I mean, I had a guy whenever me and
and that would make
what's
sense.
his face broke up, I had a guy.
Because I thought it was weird that she was like, "Oh, we're out in public holding hands." You don't do that unless you're a little more comfortable.
Right, but that was when they
But
were officially.
also-
That was after they were officially done. But
But also, I think they were. I think that's why she was able to switch to Travis so quickly was because Matt was always just kind of a.
yeah, he was
guy.
yeah.
I love Taylor and how much I'm realizing Taylor just likes to have boyfriends and free sex.
The
and
lore,
just, like,
yeah. Well,
you know,
yeah. So
makes me happy.
all right, so the track list for the Torture Poets Department starts with Fortnite, with Post Malone, then the title track, Torture Poets Department, My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys, Down Bad, So Long London, which is a track 5 thing, and we all know Taylor and her track 5s.
Acceptance.
Yeah, but Daddy, I Love Him, Fresh Off the Slammer, Florida, featuring Florence and the Machine, Guilty as Sin, Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, I Can Fix Him, No Really I Can, Love of My Life, I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived, The Alchemy, Clara Bow, and The Manuscript. Now, The Manuscript is the deluxe song.
Okay.
So then the next variant is Albatross, and the Bolter and Black Dog.
Okay, I don't understand what just happened.
There are 4 variants that came out. Right?
Of the same album.
The initial of the same album, but they all have different
Crystal
songs.
bought 17 of them.
That I have 5 coming.
Listen, okay, mini rant of a non-Swiftie. Bitch got you buying the same album 12 fucking times.
Yeah.
No wonder her sales are doing amazing.
Yeah.
That's kind of annoying. Listen, I'm poor. I wouldn't do any of that. And it makes me sad because when I'm really into people, I'm really into people.
Well, but here's the thing is I got the 2 CDs and I don't have a CD player because they come with goodies. And I think they even have patches so I can put it on my new Eras Tour jacket.
Taylor, I appreciate this is some Calithia shit. I'm sorry. Darling, if you just keep on buying the same thing, eventually you'll get something different. And you'll get your money.
Well, that's what she did with the Midnight's Clock. Like the Midnight.
Yeah, that pisses me off. I thought it was a thing. I was like, oh my God, I'll buy her, buy Jessica all the, albums and the records, and then she can make her clock. Then I found out it was the same fucking album.
They're the same album.
And then you buy.
They're just all different colors.
Fucked up because that means you're, honestly, you bought it 4 times, and then you're going to buy it on iTunes, and then you're probably going to listen to it on Spotify.
I listen to my vinyl player.
It doesn't matter where you listen to it. It matters that you bought it 17 times.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking
That's
Christ.
why Crystal was like, fuck it.
Listen, but that's because Crystal, that's what I mean. Like, when I get into people, I get really into people. I'd absolutely be doing what Crystal did.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, we'll get back to the album. We'll
all
go
right, so
song by
Fortnite.
song.
So Fortnite. Fortnite is 2 weeks. I think that this is kind of like, because you pointed out to me that folklore is more nonfiction than fairy tale,
absolutely.
right? So Fortnite is 2 weeks. I'm thinking that they broke up for 2 whole weeks, right? He started dating someone.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And then it became this whole, and then he broke it off to get back with her, but not really. But maybe she was still around. Right, I think it was
a messy thing.
I think it was a James, Betty, and Inez, or James, Betty, and August. I think that in this scenario, Joe was James, Taylor is Betty, and this other girl that Joe started seeing in that 2-week separation is August.
I think just because I don't know the lore that much, I think they were probably broken up. I think they were still communicating though pretty regular, on the regular, so it wasn't a real breakup. It was just oh, we're taking a fight break. But I think he kept her, and then she finds out that he's still talking to this bitch, and she's like, what are we doing? We're doing this again.
Been through it. And then so then the Tortured Poets Department, the reason that album is called that is because Joe had a group chat with some of his co-stars and whatever fucking dumbass indie movie he was in, and it was called the Tortured Man Club. So I think that the Tortured Poets Department was about the group chat, and I think that Guilty as Sin.
Is that the third track?
No, hold on.
Oh.
No, but I think so there's one, I feel like it was going from the group chat to the photos to because she kept busting him throughout the album.
Well, here this is Fortnite could also be denial. The denial that the relationship really isn't over, and that's why we're still talking but not really talking, and he's now with another girl. I'm going, what the fuck?
Okay.
And then the second song is anger because I found out you're talking shit about me in a group chat.
Yeah.
And then what's the third?
My boy only breaks his favorite toys.
So bargaining is I'm your favorite toy to fuck with.
Right.
Because you can fuck with me, which how real is that, right? Like, so like you fucked with me. I'm, brokenhearted now, and like I'm the number one person that you always hurt because you always get forgiveness for me, and you
Right.
just don't care anymore.
Down bad. I don't know. I don't have anything written for that because I
Down
was
bad is, well, is it like, well, that one would be
I don't know.
depression.
Apparently, I'm really gonna love that song.
That one's depression. If we go with the 5 stages of grief.
Oh, okay.
So if I'm down, I'm upset, I'm really sad. I'm
Okay.
down bad.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was trying because
So,
I didn't
like-
understand like that. Okay, but now the way that you say it,
Yeah,
it makes more
if we're
sense.
going with the 5 stages, like I think.
So Long London, I feel like is kind of the opposite of London Boy.
Well, I think it's also hitting acceptance. So it's
Well, yeah,
accepting that
like,
she's saying,
it's
bye-bye,
over. Like we're
boy."
finally done forever.
We'll
like
see you
like we are
later.
never getting back together.
Yeah,
like
truly.
That's it. Like
bye-bye, boy. I'm
this is
accepting our
exhausting. Like
fate.
we're
Yeah.
done. Yes.
Which would make sense because this is the next song, But Daddy, I Love Him.
I feel like Papa Swift, he's very protective of his kid.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like there are many a nights where she was probably talking to him on the phone, crying about everything. And he's like, well, then why don't you just break up with him? Nope, but Daddy, I love him.
I actually think it's going to be a little different. I think we have done this so many times. Why are you upset? He's
Yeah.
never enjoyed. This is his common
Well,
behavior.
I mean-
Why, like kind of like when
the amount of
you know-
times I called my dad and was like, but Dad, like,
But that's what I'm saying. But like even from like a friend point of view, like when I was like, why are you getting back with that guy?
Yeah.
Like he's like, but I love him.
yeah.
That's why I keep on getting back with
But
him. 'Cause I
yeah.
love him.
Right.
And like so, I think that's
Well, again, that's what I'm saying is like Papa Swift didn't like. I don't think Papa Swift liked him.
Well, I don't think anybody on her friends liked him. I think they were just trying to support her.
I think Fresh Out the Slammer was more like either a couple of different.
The ball and
things.
chain is gone.
Yeah. Okay, that. But I also feel like, Folklore and Evermore were written during lockdown, but I still feel like he kept her, because even after, he kind of he tried to keep her, like,
Yeah, I
from
don't.
going out and doing her thing.
Yeah, I don't
And-
think he was ready for Taylor Swift to be Taylor Swift
Right.
because it was lockdown and she had to be home. Like she had no shows.
So when she was finally like
Out and
back out,
about.
and she was like, "Oh man," she's like feeling like, "Oh man, I'm like, finally, I'm like fresh out the slammer." Like,
Which is so funny because how much can you relate to that too? I mean, it's just like
yeah,
because it's like, oh, things are opening up back up again
yeah,
with the last one.
Yeah.
and that's when it was like, oh, this is a lot now.
yeah, because I took him to everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And
it's
I at first I was like, we're still things are still kind of closed, blah blah blah. But and I warned you, like when things started happening again, my life
be
gets
busy.
crazy. My life gets crazy.
you ain't wrong.
Florida featuring Florence and the Machine. I don't know why, but I feel like that's gonna be a political song, like a "You Need to Calm Down" kind of thing.
Or a girls trip. But
Ooh,
Florence and the
but
Machine, I feel like, is very political.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's gonna be a "You Need to Calm Down." I feel like that's what it's gonna be.
What happened in Florida during this time?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Like
the book ban.
there's, I don't
know.
know.
Well, is
We'll
it-
find
is
out. And then you have "Guilty as Sin." So this is when I feel like, okay, so the
I feel like
album
we're
cover.
starting into the Matt Healy era.
Maybe, but also I feel like she caught him several times. Like, okay, like, the manuscript, like the original, like Tortured Poets album cover. It's rumored that, the picture of Taylor, like the album cover, is a picture she found on Joe's phone of another girl, and she showed it to Ryan and Blake and everybody, and that was the night that they all unfollowed Joe.
And what's the song title again? Guilty as Sin?
Yeah.
Or, yeah, I'm going to go with that theme. I'm just going to add a little spice to it just to add more fun. But, like, is it like, they all got together and they were like, look, he's doing this.
Yeah.
And so it's like, here's your proof, babe.
Right.
That's why we're all together. Let's unfollow him together.
Yeah.
You know, because to me, that dinner was very much an intervention feeling for
Yeah.
her. Like, hey, we love you, we support you, but like, you realize this is what's going on now, right?
Yeah.
And that's like, oh, you know, holy shit.
Well, the next song is "Who's Afraid of Little Old Me," and I feel like Joe's family, like Joe's side of the family, was like to Taylor. She's a normal. Taylor's very,
What
very.
did Travis say about trying to introduce himself to Taylor? Wasn't he like, oh, I'm scared?
Oh, he made her a friendship bracelet.
But wasn't he like, I was so nervous?
Oh, yeah.
So who's afraid of little old me?
Well, yeah, but also he was very like. He was kind of hurt that I didn't get to see her backstage, but she has to sing for 3.5 hours, so she's not talking to anybody. And then it was like,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, he was like, oh, I was so nervous. He's made it public. Because I think they met each other
in July.
right before.
They've been dating longer than we thought.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. The transition to Matt Healy, I don't doubt that she was dating a couple people at the same time.
Maybe.
Just to be out. And then she was like, oh, I picked Travis.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, what do you mean you were nervous to meet me? Who would be.
Yeah, but also, like, yeah. But the way that I also see it is, like.
Because
like, Taylor's the way that people around her always describe her as she's very normal. Like when you see her in those suites, she's like picking up the trash and like just doing like normal things. Like she's a normal person. So I feel like Joe's side of the family, right? Like probably couldn't like the way that Travis's family is handling Taylor, they're fine because they're used to it. You know,
I honestly think we're out of the Joe at this point.
So no, I feel like part of I don't know.
I don't think she's talking about Joe anymore in this part at all. Well, I think she did her first 5, and that's what you're gonna get.
Well, I don't know, because I feel like she's just like I don't get it. Like, why are you afraid of like little old me? I'm just a normal person.
Yeah, but I don't think. Well, also, or could it be Joe is afraid that all this shit's coming out, and he knows he's like, oh shit, I just pissed her off.
Maybe.
And he knows how much power she holds. So when this, or maybe this is, hey, I'm announcing we broke up.
Yeah.
Or you're afraid of little old me now because my fans are going to go attack you.
You know Taylor is going to write a song about you. Why would you? Anyway.
Well, I think it's the fan base that he wasn't ready for.
Yeah. And then the next one is definitely Matty Healy, that I can fix him. No, really, I can.
Yeah,
like, I can for sure.
Him.
That is so Matty Healy.
Listen, that man is all fucked. And he has been for years. Son of a bitch. It's doing it on purpose. The song lyric that I sang you from Halsey, that is about Matt Healy.
Oh shit. Yeah, Matty Healy.
So, listen, he's been around. That man. When he started dating Taylor, I was like, really? Taylor, you could do better. He's a lot.
So, I think that, and so the next one is Love of My Life, and I honestly think that song is about us. Like, I think it's about her. I think it's about her fans. I think it's about music. Her career.
Yeah.
Because she has said, I will do this until the day I die. Like, I'm just going to keep doing it. This is what I love. And so I think the first real true love of her life are like her career and her fans, because we have like this special it's weird we have like this special bond.
Has turned into something I think she didn't even think was going to happen.
No,
I think it became such a mega tour. It brought so many people together, and like even
celebrating girlhood.
Yeah, and also like even at concerts, everyone's giving friendship bracelets. Everyone's doing all these little things.
Somebody gave Trevor friendship bracelets aside from me.
Yeah.
Like 50 other girls.
Yeah, because it's happening everywhere. I mean,
Hanson does it.
Well, like, Mallory and I were joking that we were going to give them to Corey Feldman.
I mean.
But then we didn't because we ran out of time. But
so I that's what I think we're the true love of her life. Like,
yeah, no, and I agree. I think, I would agree with that one.
And then I Can Do It With a Broken Heart.
Which is a part of, like, I look at this tour I'm accomplishing. Look at everything I'm accomplishing without you.
Yeah.
You were, like, clearly holding me back.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah.
Okay. So, this one, The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived. I think that Joe couldn't really handle like her success and just made her feel bad about it.
I think he tried to retaliate and said, if you do this and this and this, or try to do a money grab or something.
Yeah.
And she's like, you are just the smallest motherfucker on alive. You know what? Get your shit.
You know, it kind of
Take that
reminds
box.
me. That song, like, it just kind of reminds me.
Or he
of-
was being petty about shit in the house when he was trying to leave.
Do you remember that night I hosted Extreme Live, and he
then-
didn't stay?
Oh, yeah.
And then so like
Listen, if you can hear my eye roll.
so the whole thing was like, and you and I have talked about this, where I started out, I was just this like mousy little like food server at
Yeah.
Texas Station in the Grand Cafe, and then I mean I was doing my paranormal show, but then as soon as it turned into like a Vegas show and I started to get to do things,
Yeah.
and he's still just doing the same band every weekend, the same thing, like
Yeah.
this, you know, just nothing really else, like little other things here and there, but nothing major.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like I get to do things. I got to perform with Extreme Live like twice a month for a year. I got to be part of that.
Yeah.
Got to host it. I got to host Funk Jam. I got to like all these amazing
Yeah.
things that I got to do around town, and the more things that I got
Yep.
to do, the more he just kind of was like, I don't want this.
Well, and
Because he wanted to be in the spotlight, and to me, that was him just the smallest man that ever lived. Like that's
Yeah.
that's how I view him at this point.
Well, and I think like Joe relied on having a private relationship, because also if you have a private relationship, girls don't know if you're together or not.
Right, and that was the thing with him too. Is
Yeah.
I didn't like I wanted to be like my love
Known.
should be celebrated, but you tolerated it, like
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah. I mean, it's I think she finds some stuff out like, oh, you're or he was just trying to be an asshole when moving out, like, well, can I see the cats? No, motherfucker. You can't
Yeah.
see the cats.
No, well, yeah, and it's just it's once again like it's a matter of like, to me, I just felt during that time like he was being petty and
Yeah.
and this and that. So I feel like I went through it, but and again he was very, very private. And then even with like my last boyfriend, like I mean he shared things on my posts, but like I was
Yeah.
the one doing all the promo for
Oh, yeah.
him
Yeah.
and tagging him and stuff and on
Yeah.
Instagram or whatever.
Well, you were the one posting and tagging him in it, and like, honestly,
Now it's the
like,
opposite.
It is the opposite.
the opposite.
I will say, like, it's funny because Nathan doesn't take photos, so
No.
but like,
I mean,
it's
but-
so different though, because that's something that like is important to you,
yeah.
and like, oh, the smoke's going right into our faces.
I
now.
know. And now like
Yeah, and,
And
I
that's-
think
and
that's
that's how, like-
exactly what she's going through.
and that's why like Travis, she's like, I want to be loved out loud. And
I mean, when have you ever seen Taylor Swift at a concert like that?
like
Ever?
Coachella,
Yeah.
dude, that was the most awesome
and like,
thing.
I truly
I mean, yeah,
believe,
she was surrounded by security, but you couldn't really.
You know, you could tell she was nervous too, because she was like, oh, I don't know. And he's like, I got you.
yeah,
It's fine.
yeah,
And
he
you
like,
can tell he was like trying to coax her into it.
Yeah.
Just have a good time. Drink your drink.
yeah, I got you. Don't
And,
worry, it's fine.
Yeah, like it's okay. I got
Yeah.
you. Look, I can pick you up.
Yeah,
See? This
Yeah.
is what I do for a living. I gotta be tough.
yeah.
You know?
It was so good. He loves her out loud, and I feel like sometimes
Yeah.
like that's something that we all kind of want. I mean, it's something
Yeah.
that I've definitely wanted, and I feel like Joe just would not like
Well, that was
he
never
didn't
gonna
care that she was dating
No.
Taylor Swift, but he's about to.
Yeah.
And then
Seriously.
so the next one is Alchemy, or the
What is
Alchemy.
that again? There was a big thing about this.
Okay, so Rumpelstiltskin. Okay, so if you go and watch like the Bejeweled music video,
Uh-huh.
there's like the spinner and like the string. And remember when like he would turn straw into gold?
Yeah.
So he was like the most famous alchemist in the world.
Oh, okay.
So it's just like, I mean, I don't know. Oh, so and then invisible string, right? So
Yeah.
I think I don't know. Like there's, I feel like there's like a parallel to that, but I feel like also like Travis. I don't know. It might be a Travis song. I'm not really sure.
Well, I wonder if Travis is turning the silk into like, look, you're gold.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're turning.
I think but he was the real invisible string, because the invisible string was like, you know, you meet in different places just randomly, and then throughout time, like something happens and you become something more, right?
So Nathan and I have an invisible string theory, or we have one. So when I first met him, he had lived in a condo complex in California in Port Hueneme, down the street from the hotel that we went and visited 4 times a year. And my mom almost bought in that apartment or that condo complex on the beach. And Nathan lived in that complex, and right across the street was a pizza shop that I used to go and pick up our pizza and then walk back to the hotel room, and that was Nathan's hangout spot. So we ran into each other multiple times before actually physically meeting each other.
Right.
And then but yeah, so it's just really, it's Nathan and I have that.
So the invisible string thing with like, I think like the reason I think it was Travis the whole time was because like if you go back and you watch past interviews, he has been a Swiftie. They're the same age. He's been a Swiftie his whole life.
That's funny.
Like and so you see like his interviews
like,
and
hot.
like what, like who's your childhood crush? Taylor Swift. Like
That's
like
so funny.
every single interview he brings her up.
Yeah.
Like throughout time.
Yeah.
Like throughout the last like 10, 15 years, he's just like Taylor Swift.
You know what's really funny too is I watched this one interview. I guess his coach, and Taylor Swift's dad met, and I guess it was well known that he had a crush on Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
So coach was like, "Hey, my boy's got a crush on your daughter."
Exactly.
Like, even like I think,
and then the friendship bracelet thing happened.
Yeah, I think that they definitely, which is funny because like, isn't it funny how it's like a blessing by her dad in a way? Like, he's like, okay, sure, date my daughter.
And now Karma is the guy on the Chiefs.
That's so funny.
And then Clara Bow, you had a really crazy theory.
I did. So explain who Clara Bow is. And then
so Clara Bow is an actress. I thought this song was definitely going to be more of like a Last Great American Dynasty, Calethea kind of a thing.
Which I still think it will be.
Rebecca Harkness, Calethea. But yeah, probably. But Clara Bow was an actress in the 20s, and she started in silent movies before they transitioning into the talkies, right? And she died at like, she was like 65 when she died. But what's your take on that?
I told Jessica yesterday, I was like, oh, this song's about Travis. And
no, you didn't.
Yeah, I was like, this last song is going to be about Travis. This song is about Travis.
Yeah, but you said, okay.
Yeah, I'll get there.
Okay.
And you were like, no, it's about this lady. And I was like, yeah, because she was in a relationship she couldn't talk about. And now she's in a relationship now that she can talk about.
Yeah, but I thought it was more about Joe. Like more about
no.
She was kind of silent throughout the relationship and kept it private. But
And
now the
he's
gloves
in
are.
talkies.
But now the gloves are off.
No.
Because that's how I saw it.
No, what I said yesterday was she had to be silent in her relationships, like in a silent movie, and she was able to transition into a talky relationship. And that's because she gets to talk about it and she gets to be public about it, which is something she has now wanted. So I think it is finding new love, and I think that's what the song is going to be about.
I have a couple of things.
Because I'm telling you, the last song is not good. We're already out of Joe. Joe's gone. Joe's forgotten about. Absolutely. Joe's been forgotten about since she dedicated her love to you guys. That's the point. I replaced my love for him with you guys, and that's where it needed to be. Let's move on.
Taylor Swift made a reference to her 6-year relationship using 72 card catalogs at the Tortured Poets Department Library.
Oh, yeah.
72 months equates to 6 years.
I wonder what those...
But, you know, Albatross and the Bolter...
yeah, what are those? Explain
okay, so those are like the next song. So Albatross...
so what did that... Is it already out or is coming out?
It's... So... hold on. The Bolter... Who was known as the Bolter? Oh, Jesus, right. In the age of Bolters, women who broke the rules and fled their marriages... That's what a bolter is, right? So that's one of the variants.
I always said that she was the bolter.
Yeah. And then...
I was like, it wasn't him, it was her.
And then the albatross... okay, so there's a couple of things. It's a bird, right?
Yeah.
That
it looks like a
fly
seagull.
for like 6 years without like
Ever
hitting
stopping.
land. But there's a couple of different... I gotta find like the other
So what are these variants? Are they gonna have the albums on them?
the word albatross is sometimes used metaphorically to mean a psychological burden that feels like a curse.
Huh.
And then the black dog is like more like a sign of like depression.
How many variants are there? 3?
4. The manuscript, albatross, bolter, and the black dog.
And okay, what's on these? That full album?
The same album. Each
And
album
are they
is the
gonna
same.
have different?
Then they have each song is different. So like the manuscript is the bonus track for the original one. And then for the bolter, the
That's
bolter
the bonus
variant,
track on
that's
that.
the bonus track. File name the bolter. That's the bonus track.
I have a headache, Taylor. Taylor, I have a headache. I get it, girl.
Make your money. But it's so crazy because I don't even have. Okay, so like I got all the variants I got the Midnight's variants. I got one. I bought one myself, and then I got the other 3 for Christmas that I will get from Diane here soon. Actually, I have 2 at home right now, and Diane's got the other 2 for me. And then 1989, I didn't feel the need because it was like film strips, and they didn't have nothing was different about them. And
Yeah.
then the Speak Now variants, there was nothing different. I didn't get any of them. This
Yeah.
was like the only one.
That is like,
Like that. I mean, yeah, all the other ones have a whole bunch of variants,
yeah.
but like this is the one that I was like, no, I have to, because I felt like this was going to be like my therapy album.
Yeah, well, and I kind of stay true to the whole entire, like, I don't think it's going to be as much Joe as you think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a lot of,
Self-reflection.
yes.
Yeah.
A lot of self-reflection, a lot of moving on, because it sounds like the first 5 songs are the 5 stages of grief. So she's already accepted it. To me, it sounds like
Well, but
she's
I can
already
do it with a
over
broken heart. It's like later on, but that's
But
but
I
that's
think
towards the end, and that's the moving on.
Yes, that's what I mean. As soon as we get to that, we're done with Joe.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I am firm with Joe is gone after that. Because if I can do it with a broken heart, that means I'm over it.
Yeah.
I'm done.
I think it's like almost in chronological order, because
It
I think those like
absolutely
those
is. Yeah.
I feel like those Maddie Healy songs are like whenever her and Joe were broken up and she just needed to get laid.
Well, I think in this album, she doesn't get back with Joe.
No.
Not at all. Like, I don't think there's like a back and forth. in
Well,
this
I don't
one.
know. There might be. I don't know.
Like, I think, but it will be interesting to see how correct we are. I'm like, listen, I'm excited to listen to it. I'll have to probably space it out, but I'll get there.
Yeah. No. Well, it sucks because like so I go into work at 3 on Fridays, so I'm gonna like get up. I'll probably start listening to it like midnight, the day of, like Thursday night, and then
Yeah. It comes out at midnight.
and then the music video.
Uh-huh.
That we don't know which song is coming out. We just know that there's a music video coming out at 5:00 on Friday. So I'm gonna be behind the bar watching a music video.
Well, listen, I think it's funny too because you're like, we're gonna get this and this. I'm like, yeah, that's what
I don't know. It's
Yeah.
everybody's like everyone's like, oh my god, we're gonna get rep. I'm like, we're not gonna get Reputation. Like,
No,
no,
he's gonna
that
give
shit's
time
not
to this. This is
Reputation
not-
isn't gonna come out. And for you know what I realized, I had this thought today. I don't think that she's gonna re-record Debut, because she recorded Debut when she was like 16 and she had that southern twang. What's she gonna do? Go back and re-record it and try to like
I mean,
get her
she-
country
is
roots
that-
back, or is she gonna be adult Taylor singing?
I mean,
Teardrops
she
on My
does it
Guitar.
Now, doesn't she sing that song now?
No,
On stage. Oh,
she like none of the Debut songs are on the set list. They're on the surprise. Some of them are the surprise songs, but she's only sang like 2 of them.
I wonder if she just doesn't like him anymore.
I don't know.
That's funny. Good for her.
So we'll see.
I always forget her career. It's. I'm glad she's in pop now, but
Me too. Well, that's when. So I was never really into country when she first started, so it wasn't really my thing.
yeah.
And I couldn't really relate to it at the time. But then when Taylor started stealing my journal, and that's like the magic of her too, because I swear to God, every song that she released, I literally went into like my dresser and was like, is my journal still here?
Like, what is going on?
Why? How does she know what's going on in my life? And then, like, when Lover came out and, like, Reputation came out, I was, like, looking for the, like, especially with, like, Look What You Made Me Do and I Don't Like Your Tilted Stage.
Yeah.
Like, to me, like, that was, like, I was literally going through it at that time. And I was, like, looking for the cameras.
You're like, what the fuck?
I was like, where are the cameras?
Well, and I think
She's watching me.
I think it just validates also. It's like, yeah, this is just a very real life thing going on.
That everybody goes through.
Yeah, like we all go through this really tough bullshit with people. Like, it should, like, people are the same always, you know? And it's like, which is nice to, like, be able to relate and be able to, like, okay, Taylor, like, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for, I'm excited for Friday. I'm excited to see what happens. I can't wait to see how close we are.
Yeah.
I feel it in my bones.
Yeah.
I feel like,
I think
and
we,
you know what? It's going to be good too, because I'm excited to see, like,
I think those playlists were a huge clue.
Well, I had been saying for a while that we were not going to get much of Joe. And because we were in your kitchen, she's like, but she recorded it before. I was like, you don't think Taylor Swift can just fucking do whatever the fuck she wants?
Well, so Travis said that the album is going to turn the world upside down. Like,
well, that's because he's hyping up his bitch.
well, yeah, but
Listen,
you know what,
even
but
if
you know
she
what, here's the
doesn't-
thing is, like, but again,
If she
that's
just
why I love
talks about,
Travis.
like, her whole emotions and just her getting past it, it would still turn the world upside down because she didn't talk about the ex.
Right.
Like, no matter what, it's just what Taylor does.
I think, but it also, like, but the fact that he appreciates, like, he knows
yeah.
who she is.
Yeah.
He knows who she is. He knew what he was getting into when he started dating Taylor Swift, which I appreciate in my own life right now.
But also similar to now, you, like you said, it is important to you that your person does X, Y, and Z. And
Yeah.
it's nice that he's doing X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And those standards changed because of the people you dated in
Right.
the past. And I think that's important to see with Taylor too. It's like,
People would ask Joe about Taylor, and he was like, I don't want to talk about it.
yeah,
But
and
then,
that's
like,
what she
people,
wanted at the time. But now she's like,
Travis is getting ready to
okay.
play a Super Bowl, and they're like, so Travis,
And he's like,
can you
I'll
tell us
talk
anything about the new album? And he's like, I'm sworn to secrecy, but I will tell you it's great. It's gonna turn the world upside down.
That's funny.
And instead of like shying away, he's like, yeah, it's gonna be great. Like, you guys are gonna enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, that's like, love
what I
that.
want.
He's like not afraid to talk about it. He won't like shy away. He's always like smiling and like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Well, and it's like I said, it's interesting to see her be more adult. I know it sounds weird, but like she's always so proper and everything when she's
Yeah.
out that it's nice to see her just like
This is her most explicit album, by the way, that she's ever released.
really
There are, I think, 7 songs on here that have like the explicit.
Interesting. Well, I was shocked at how many fucks she said in the other songs that I was listening to. I was
And
like,
like Betty,
Yeah,
and
I was
Betty
like-
and Champagne, and Betty and like
Champagne
Folklore, and
Flowers.
yeah,
yeah, that one I was like, damn, bitch, you cusses a lot.
yeah,
Good for
no,
her.
man, yeah,
Well, I did say in the original when I first listened to it and did a review of it, I said it was her most honest album.
yeah,
Because I didn't hear the lore. I think I did. I just ignored it, which is honestly why I was like, I enjoy these things because I ignore a lot of some of the lore
Yeah.
that she does. I also think like one thing that I will always say kind of like bums me out for Taylor is that like Taylor will tell you one thing and it was obviously to protect Joe, but like she told you one thing but really told you another, and it's like interesting how the
There were
fan
so
base
many
just,
signs.
like I'm listening
We just
to
took
you,
it
but
at-
I'm not listening
we
to
just took
you.
it at face value. We're just like, yeah, you're telling us that this is like an imaginary, made up
Yeah.
story about three people in high school, and
Yeah.
this is this story, it did not happen. It was not real. And we're like, okay, Taylor, you just got bored during, blah, blah, blah. You got bored
Yeah.
during the pandemic and you wrote this album. Okay, cool. Like, all right, we're digging it. That's cool. And then, but like when you have like people like you, like third party, like,
Like,
would,
nah.
like come and look at it with fresh eyes going, you guys are dumb. Like,
I mean, truly, I
like-
look around. I was like listening to these songs. I'm like, I'm gonna beat someone up. Like, are you serious? Like,
because we were told, I mean, she told us, like, this
Yeah,
is
but,
just,
like, how-
I wanted a whimsical, like, the way that, and
but
she
once
even
again,
says it during the
I
Eras
told my
tour.
friends, like, look, he's a comedian. He does this. It's great. Just saying.
The fact that, like, I told him the story of, like, two members of like my favorite boy band that I like, I don't know, woke up to their faces every day for like 10 years, like living in, like growing up.
Yeah.
And then also Michael Yo.
Well, the Michael Yo is what gets me the most, because the Michael Yo is actually something that would get him good
Like-
connections within town.
Yeah.
But
He was just very unbothered. Just doesn't care. To me, I was like, why?
wow, Joe, good for you. No,
Yeah.
I mean seriously, unbothered, and I mean, what a perfect description. Also for Joe too, like just unbothered.
Unbothered.
Even now, like he's got some movie thing coming out,
Yeah.
which I was like, Taylor,
Oh
did
yeah.
you do that on
Oh
purpose?
yeah. The movie thing. Oh my god.
What is
oh
that?
my
'Cause
god.
he's like in a movie
That's
with like
the
Emma
thing.
Stone, or no?
No.
I feel like
it's
it's like
not
a really
Emma Stone.
popular person
It's
that I'm
it's
thinking of.
I think oh no, it's like I think her name is
look it up
Emma
right
or
now.
Amanda or something. But anyway, she's like so the Albatross album cover is funny because there's a picture of Joe doing the same thing for like one of his like headshots or for a promo for a movie. Like it's all trolling him. It's so funny.
Let's see, I'm looking at
But I feel like once again, like she loved Joe and he hurt her the most because she loved
Yeah.
him the most, right? That's how but you know, like I'm over it. You know, it's been years, whatever. But I realized like I think I was just like in lust or infatuated. I don't think I was really in love. And then I was, and then when I
would agree with that, yeah.
and so then when I was with like my last boyfriend and I was like just madly just deeply in love,
Yeah.
and then when it ended I was like it was worse
Yeah.
because I cared more,
Yeah.
and then I just hid for 8 months.
Well, and I think too, it's hard to process sometimes when you love somebody so much, because you also assume they love you that much.
Right.
And you want to believe that they love you that much. You don't want to believe that they don't care for you the way you care for them. So it's hard to accept that.
Yeah.
And I think
I feel you forget
because-
me.
Well, and also I think because of the situationship you were in before, it was like, no, like I said, it's constant. It's got to be good.
Yeah.
You know, it's got to be better than what it was. And I
Right.
guess in a way, like for a while it was.
It
But
was.
then, like, which, and by the way, Emma Stone is in his new movie.
Oh shit. Oh god damn. That's weird because her and
Kind
Taylor
of kindness.
is that Listen, Emma and Taylor are really good friends, so I feel like it's going to be a weird dynamic.
Well, when they filmed it, they were probably together. That's the wild thing.
Oh.
Because remember, they probably filmed it, what, a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
And they were together, so it didn't matter.
Oh.
Yeah, Emma Stone is in it. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be interesting. But listen, I really enjoyed having a backyard session.
Yeah,
I feel like this is going to be a new series, but it's going to be a little bit different. I think this is
time.
going to be like our yeah. I mean, instead of more the Vegas thing, this is more of like we're just
little extras.
little extra things that we do.
Yeah. Also, I think at time, because we do want to talk about celebrities every now and
Yeah,
then. And we try to keep
we
our
haven't-
episodes just Vegas.
Yeah,
So
I
this
miss
gives
talking
us-
about celebrities.
So this gives us a good chance to talk shit, because we miss talking shit. It's our new sippin' bitch
Yeah.
that we used to do.
If you follow us, we used to do a sip and bitch where we used to bring alcohol into the studio and drink and bitch about celebrities.
But we drank too much yesterday, so
We drank too much
we had
yesterday.
orange soda today.
All right.
But
All right.
yeah.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. Catch our new episode Monday. Catch this episode
Friday.
tomorrow, Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no, it's gonna come out Thursday.
Thursday. So this episode will be out tomorrow afternoon.
Ooh.
Ooh.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys on our next episode.
Bye.